What's up, everybody? It's Gauntlet Friday night. So you know what time it is, man. We have a lot of NFL stuff to talk about the show. We're going to have a great show tonight here on the Sideline Sports Network, keeping you guys updated with everything going on in the NFL. And the saddest news was the passing of the late, great Jim Brown. So we are going to have a tribute for him. Our condolences are with the entire Cleveland Browns family, Jim's family, and everyone that was close to him throughout his career and life. So let's get the crew in the house. So I got these guys. I got Jay, Dom, and JJ, and our man Kirk. Kirk doing the double duty, doing the production, being on the show tonight. What's going on, guys?
You went from primetime Kirk to not Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, to remind you that he's not Kirk Cousins.
I need to clarify that.
Either. Although, if our paychecks were somehow able to get switched, I would not be mad.
I know, right? I love that.
Get 84 stole a lot of paychecks from the NFL, from several teams. Well, two.
Well, maybe an NFL team will give our Kirk the bag. He can be the producer of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Kirk Cousins is next up in San Francisco, but y'all aren't ready to talk about that yet.
Oh, boy.
I mean, he was rumored to go there when he hit free agency a couple years ago. So,
San Francisco, we ain't going to get into that, man. But, guys, Jim Brown, rest in peace, Jim Brown. Jim, you are going to be so missed, brother, especially in this NFL community. So, you know what? I'm just going to say this right now. The only person that I can say that you could give an argument that's the greatest of all time if you don't pick Jim Brown is probably Barry Sanders. Other than that, I'm not taking any other running backs ahead of this guy. This guy was so dominant in his era. He did not have 16 games in a season, let alone 17 games. His second year in the league, he rushed for 1,500 yards in 12 games. On average, if you do the math, he's averaging like 127 a game. So if he's playing in 16 games, 17 games, how much is that? That's like roughly over 2,000 yards. This guy would be getting 2,000 yards basically every single year in his career. He was so dominant. And,
21-59.
Jim is really going to be missed by anybody that loves the game of football. And, obviously, like I mentioned, the Cleveland Browns family and everyone involved with Jim is definitely really going to miss this guy. Great guy and a great football player.
Yeah, Jim Brown, and I know this is a sports show and everything, but I would be remiss if I didn't bring up his life post career. He was one of the known faces in the blaxploitation film era. He starred in films of that time period, but also this man was known for his staunch work during the civil rights movement. He teamed up with other athletes, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Carl Stokes, formed the Cleveland Summit. They met with Muhammad Ali. They were rallying behind Ali's cause of civil rights in the United States. He's also one of the first African-American athletes that sparked other African-American athletes to take initiative off the field. So whenever you talk about Kaepernick kneeling for the flag and then the players protesting and everything like that, that goes all the way back to Jim Brown and his time period. They was the ones that started all of that. They're the forefathers of protesting for what it is you believe in, protesting for your rights. He also founded the Negro Industrial Economic Union, later known as the Black Economic Union, to promote economic opportunities for minority-owned businesses. He also co-founded the I Can Foundation. It was sought to divert gang members from violence by teaching them life skills. So this man was not just a football player. In fact, I'm not even going to say it's an argument. I will put out there he was a much better man than a football player. That's all I got to say.
Next, we'll go to Kirk. Kirk, what's up?
Yeah, I think, when you think about the early running backs like Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, he was the pioneer of being like a great running back. Like this man through seven years had 12,000 rushing yards, and that's good enough for to be 11th in all-time in rushing. That's crazy to do it in 7 years to have 12,000 rushing yards. That's crazy. And
I think it's more impressive that he did that with seasons on less than 16 games.
And he was also like fifth or
12
sixth
games to 14
until the
games
last 20
eventually.
years.
But still, that's under 16. So that's why I think it's so impressive.
So crazy, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, the running back position wouldn't be the same without him. Like, he is like one of the true breakout running backs that we have today. And like you said, Jay said, like, the fact that he's more a better person and a player speaks to how good of a role model he is in the sports community. Like the Browns, the running backs, the historic running back in the NFL, like, wouldn't be the same without Jim Brown in the NFL. You couldn't talk about the early 70s and 60s without talking about Jim Brown. That's how iconic he is to the NFL. So that they lost a player, but a better person as well. So, which is really sad.
Detroit Dom, what's up?
I have said in the past, and I'll say again because it bears repeating, Barry Sanders is the best running back I've ever seen play with my own eyes. Jim Brown has the best numbers of any running back I've ever seen highlights of, and I spent a good between $75 and $100 at the Wheat and Rye, which is a bar right by Detroit Metro Airport, with Barry Sanders' dad, trying to get him drunk enough to just say just one time that his son was better than Jim Brown. He would not do it. He never did it when he was sober. This dude was hammered, falling off his bar stool. I was like, come on, dude, just say it. I'm like, I don't care if you don't even mean it, just say it. Would not say it.
That is a crazy story.
Yeah, Jim Brown, rarefied air because he averages most yards per carry by any running back in NFL history with the requisite number of carries. Jamal Charles, he can F off. Number one is Jim Brown, 5.2. Number two is Barry, 5 flat. Jamal Charles doesn't count, and right now, Nick Chubb is still at 5.0. Derrick Henry is down to like 4.93, and that's about it.
It's very impressive.
The next closest guy, as far as requisite number of carries and no longer playing, I couldn't even tell you who it is, but it's like 4.6, maybe 4.7. I know Walter Payton's 4.4, very respectable. And he's on the podium for me. I wouldn't even know who else to put there.
Okay, Dom crunching the numbers, but JJ, let's go to you to close out. Anything standing out to you about Jim Brown as the man has passed away today?
Well, he's kind of the Muhammad Ali of black running backs in the NFL. People
Great
don't
comparison.
What people don't remember is it's not just the fact that he had the 1,200 rushing yards, 12,000 rushing yards in those seasons, that many games. They were trying to injure him every single time because he represented what they all feared, a strong African-American man who's dominating a predominantly white league at the time. This is the 50s and the 60s, man. This is not exactly like this is a time.
One other thing real quick, because Football Reference is never wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listed as a fullback, 6'2", 232. The greatest running back of all time was a fullback.
Of course. But that's just neither here nor there. That's kind of just an oversight for me. But they didn't want him there. They rode his back, but they were deceiving him and trying to injure him. They were having people, they just couldn't, because he was the strongest, the biggest, the fastest dude as a running back coming at you full swing. And yeah, we lost a good one because the Barrys, the LTs, all of them grew up watching him. They had access to that. And personally, it's always been 1A, 1B between him and Sweetness for me as the top running backs of all time. And I don't get into the debate of conversations because they're all great to me. But personally, if you could look at my all-time draft teams I had over the years doing it. Shout out to the crew about that. I'm always trying to get Walter or Jim. Always. But Jim, I didn't expect that, but they lost the man that they ended up having to respect when they didn't respect him in the beginning.
Right on.
All right, guys. Rest in peace one last time to Jim Brown. So let's try to lighten the mood up a little bit. Let's get some rants in. Let's get some stuff in here. It's time for the Sports Moron on the week. So the clown music
is so effing loud.
Music, it's royalty free, but it's royalty free. That's the best part. So we're not going to get smoked by a copyright.
Exactly.
So whoever gave me the free clown music for the Sports Moron, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And, obviously, Kirk, we appreciate you for creating that montage, man, because you are the cause of that with your take about the Eagles. But we're not going to get it. We're not going to get into that, bro. So does anyone want to start us off in particular? Anybody got a Sports Moron they're dying to get off their chest?
I'll go real quick.
Go ahead.
It's never quick.
I promise. Listen.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Look in the mirror and say what you just said, sir. Reflection.
I didn't say that. I was just throwing shade. Go ahead.
If the rumors are true, and I believe they are, and I'm going to apologize to you and your franchise in advance, Jay, it's Rockets GM Raphael Stone for even considering bringing James Harden. No, there's no. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Harden. The D is silent. It's HAR_ like blank spot for the DEN. Jay, I know you're no fan. Like, you don't want him back, do you?
You know what? But see, here's the thing. Before you continue, here's the thing. Keep in mind that Harden said upon his exit that he wanted to return to Houston. He wanted to retire a Rocket. So, be that as it may. He did
say that.
And then also at the same time, and I get what you're saying. I really do. But I got this counterpunch to offer also. Harden would be better than what we got going right now. We can't pass 25 wins, bruh. We can't. If Harden gets here, we're probably a play-in team. At this time, we'll take it. But go ahead.
I don't want him ruining the chemistry of the young guys. I want better than that for y'all.
Now that's where I will step in on that one real quick. The chemistry is you got a hooper and Jalen.
You're right.
Pass the ball.
There's just hoopers. There's no basketball players. They don't know better.
Kevin and Kevin Porter Jr. are the two best team players on that team.
Okay. So Dom is going with the Houston Rockets. Anybody else dying to get a Sports Moron off their chest?
I'm just going to do one about the stay in basketball.
No, not the Rockets, the GM. Daryl Morey would never. He got rid of James Harden. If he was still there, he'd be like, no. Luka to the Thunder. You heard it here first.
So it's the people that thought that Jokic wasn't going to get any type of production on Anthony Davis this week after Anthony Davis's performance in his postseason. I don't think y'all been watching this guy play this whole postseason. You're not stopping him. That man is too crisp. The man is too cold. And for some people, I think people are just trying to ride behind the Lakers right now, and you have good reason to. But Anthony Davis, this isn't the type of matchup where you were just going to expect him to just knock somebody down because, number one, Jokic can shoot. And now y'all see it after the 2 straight triple-doubles, how idiotic your statement sounds. Next time, please put some respect on that man's game because he may not play the best defense. Dude is cold. The dude is absolutely cold. And he gonna make Anthony Davis work. if Anthony Davis and the Lakers gonna win this series, he gonna have to work because it's not gonna be easy.
Okay. Anyone else dying to get a sports moron out there?
I'm actually good. You got one?
What? Go ahead, Kirk. You got one?
Yeah, so the past 7 sporting events I've been to Seattle. The one I did yesterday, I went to the Sounders game yesterday. They lost, and I've been 0 for 7.
LSU have an MLS
I've been
team.
So you're 0-7?
I'm almost that's any Seattle sporting event.
Wow,
So,
you're calling yourself a bad luck sports moron?
Yeah,
so you're actually a sports moron.
Yeah, I'm electing myself. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to reverse it. Like, I don't know if you need some sage to put on me, but like, I went to the Seahawks game last year against Carolina. They lost. Went to the Mariners. Game. I believe it was against like Oakland. They lost. And then,
wow, you lost to Oakland?
That's bad.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
You no.
You
Yeah,
don't have to say that.
Have you guys seen pictures of the stands there?
Oakland is
Like 2,000 people at a game.
They're horrible.
Well, they're all in Seattle, so
Well, this is also the stadium that had raw sewage backing up into the dugouts like a decade ago, and they're still there.
Yeah. I mean, that's that. They're gonna relocate soon. They're going to Vegas. Like that franchise is cooked. But the most frustrating part about that. The most frustrating part about that was that was right before they went on that 23-game win streak last year that catapulted them, get that run to that playoff run. That was like the last game they had. So it was like, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm truly like a bad luck charm. Like, I can't go to a Seattle sports
You're bad luck.
anymore.
Quit going.
So, Kirk, what you're saying is that you going to games is like the real version of Kirk Cousins going to primetime.
Yep.
That's what it is.
So, Kurt, real talk though.
Even 4 o'clock.
Real talk, Kurt though. The Ravens play in Seattle this year. Look it up.
All right, I'll go.
Look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
He's trying to tell you that he wants a free win. Is what he's saying.
Yeah,
I might be coming to that Ravens JJ, but there's a road game trying to get to, and Dallas ain't gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
All right. So listen up, guys. I'm actually really disappointed in y'all for not a single one of you guys mentioned Ja Morant and what he has done, continue to do this week, and to make matters worse,
layup.
Ja Morant made an apology, which he plagiarized an apology and went on Google and just copy and pasted some crap.
And some AI stuff.
He literally does not care
That's fire.
at all about anything, anybody. He doesn't care about himself. He doesn't care about his family. He doesn't care about his team. He doesn't care about his
see what
coaches.
J.J.
He doesn't
said,
care
though?
about his organization. He cares about having social media clout. That's what he cares about. His head is in the wrong place, and if he continues this, he is going to throw his career away. Ja Morant, you are a sports moron of the week and possibly of the year.
Pistons.
Because this is so stupid what you're doing.
Yeah, him and Dylan Brooks are definitely fighting it out for sports moron of the year.
We'll give you Jaden Ivey and a pick swap for Ja Morant. Memphis, if you're listening.
Keep in mind, this dude signed a $196 million extension with parameters that if he were to win MVP or Defensive Player of the Year or make an All-NBA, it goes to $228 million. And he's literally like JT said, he's pissing it all away, and all behind some clout. Like I actually watched not a documentary, but I watched a clip the other day, and they did a case study on him, and it's more than that. Apparently, he's got this like semi-toxic mom, right? That every time she gets into incidents in public, she'll call her son, and then her son will show up with like 8 guys, and it's like, yo, you think it's like a reality show or whatever? But the thing about it is this is probably the thing and I mentioned this on the Pundit's Pundit. This is probably the thing that irks me the most is there are real life people in the hood that would trade places with him in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. They will tell him, yo, you made it out. We're trying to get to your level. How is it you're trying to be us? So, like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
I think
Memphis is a really bad place for him.
I think
Like the city of Memphis, I said before, the city of Memphis and the seedy underbelly, that is not for you, Ja.
and to
Leave that to
Jay's-
3-6 Mafia.
Hold on,
They're actually
JJ 's
from
fault.
there.
to Jay's point, and I will say to James's
Go
point, it's not just the mom too; it's also the friend, because the friend that he was seen in video with had issues with a traveling party for Indiana Pacers, where it appeared to have a red laser pointed at the Indiana convoy,
right, I remember
but
that.
appeared to come from Memphis, which is him. So it's like, at the end of the day, when it comes to Ja, like, bro, real talk, if you lose out, so be it. That's it. I mean, because at the end of the day, I think people mistakenly taking this the wrong way, thinking like we're trying to say it's the end of his career. No, we're just saying, bro, like, deal with this so you can be better. Turn your lemons into lemonade. But at the end of the day, if you don't, and you make these decisions based off what I got from watching the NBA draft lottery, Silver seemed genuinely, and he could be faking it, he seemed genuinely disappointed in a guy that he was really trying to champion for, because the league wants to make him a face. But you're not going to be a face if you're doing stuff that could tarnish the brand, and so to speak. And if you have to live with the consequences of your decisions. I don't know why it's very important for him to brandish his gun. I don't know why, but it is. And you can do that.
Complex. And Memphis.
But it's social media age as well. And I think what he's kind of showing me is I think that this could be what a couple other guys who are coming in could be like. You know, look at Dylan Brooks. Look at him. You get some money, you get some things. Shaq said it on like TNT like a week and a half ago or during their series. He's like, when you feeling yourself, you stop thinking about what made you get to be yourself. And it's like, when you start doing that, this is what happens. And you get bounced.
Can you imagine all the jackasses of previous eras if social media was a thing? Like, what would Ron Artest be doing on social media? You know what I mean?
Dennis Rodman.
You just hear stories years later about him
that dude
walking off the court at halftime to the liquor store in Chicago and buying some Hennessy, drinking it on his way back, and going back in the game.
That sounds more like J.R. Smith.
Okay, guys, that's all we have time for.
J.R. Smith just forgets how to count.
That's all we have time for morons of the week, guys. So we're gonna move on to some other stuff for the show. Davante Adams this week turned a lot of heads with some of his comments, where he said that he basically proved this season they did not need Aaron Rodgers. I personally, I don't really have a problem with any of his comments, because I think that if you watch Davante throughout his career, even with Green Bay, you saw that he had the elite traits of a receiver. He had that ability to get that separation. He's one of the best route runners in the game and has consistently been that. Now, to Aaron Rodgers' credit, I think Aaron has made a lot of average guys better in his career. But Davante, he was already the full package, man. So I don't think that Aaron Rodgers made him, and I don't think that he made Aaron Rodgers. I think that they were both elite in their own rights. And, you know, what he did last season with Derek Carr, I think it just further proves it. And then even with Jimmy G, I would still expect Davante to, put up some really good numbers.
Yeah, Davante, I agree 100%. And the numbers speak for itself. He made All-Pro. He had 100 receptions for 1,516 yards and 14 touchdowns. I mean, the number speaks for itself. And he did it with a quarterback who a lot of people on this panel may agree is not even half of Aaron Rodgers. That's probably the most impressive part,
He's not even like 2% of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Listen, what we not finna do is respect Derek Carr, so just stop it right now.
He's not on his level. He's not on Aaron's level.
We're not going there, Dom. We're not
Don't even try to suggest that he is.
Disrespect Derek Carr.
It's not disrespectful to Derek Carr. He's not
I didn't say he's not at his
in
level.
the
I just
same
said
universe
don't expect the
as
man.
Aaron Rodgers.
Keep going, Jay.
No, my point is, my point short. My point is like the numbers speak
Right
for
about
themselves. Anybody who thinks it's
They're a
stupid,
lot closer together than you want to admit.
wait, say that
No,
again.
they're not.
Actually, bring that back up on Yogo. Pretty much anyone who disagrees with him, the number speaks for itself. It's right there, you know. And he did it with Derek Carr. So, Kirk, what you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, Davante Adams, like he's always been like that. Like he's always been that guy. He's always been top receivers. His route running is what separates him from the rest of the top receivers. He's probably the best out of all of them. Like maybe you can argue Cooper Kupp in there, but he didn't need Aaron Rodgers when it comes to like production stuff. But he'd be lying to himself. He didn't want to play with them again because shoot, Raiders are not that good. Raiders are terrible, especially their defense. And if you would have asked him if he wanted to come play with Aaron Rodgers with the Jets and Nathaniel Hackett and have a reunion there in New York, he'd probably say yes because he's in a terrible situation right now. Because Garoppolo, he's the little definition of mid. Like they're not gonna win anything. But in terms of the player, like he's still one very talented. Like he'll put up numbers with the best of them. But I wouldn't say that that statement is 100% true.
Okay, fair enough. So, Dom, what's up?
What I had said was, no, they're not. Well, 2 years ago, Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr are not in the same universe. Right now, today, closer than you think, but that's different story for a different. Derek Carr at his best is basically what Jared Goff is now, like just outside the top 10, maybe creeping into it at times. Anyways, Davante Adams, I've said for years, because every wide receiver Brett Favre ever had, other than Sterling Sharp, I was like not impressed with any of them because none of them ever did diddly squat outside of Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, same story, but for the first few years of Davante Adams' career, I was not convinced. It's Aaron Rodgers. I've seen Brett Favre. So the first James said was, Rodgers has the ability great to use that guy, and I was not surprised, and he's 100%. At this point, I would say because he hasn't had, but I think he's not even. I think I know, and it's not even a wild take. He's better than DeAndre Hopkins ever was. But that was why I always gave Hopkins credit because he always did work with crappy quarterbacks. But I think Davante Adams could do it just as well, if not better, because he's a better receiver.
That's fair.
Joseph?
To be very, very, very honest, I don't even know why this is even a topic, like storylines by anything, because I don't really think what he said was anything wrong. Like, I don't see the logic. People are trying to create a problem out of this. I'm not saying us as far as the panel talking about it. I'm just talking about if anyone was to try to sit there and like say it's a slight to Aaron Rodgers. You called this guy a top 2 receiver in the league. So you're telling me the best receiver in the game is created by another quarterback. No, he was already a player that was trending up. You could say they excelled each other, but he doesn't need him because he was always going to turn in. He was always going to be that guy. And then in Oakland, yeah, he shined out. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers takes a slight to this at all because game recognized game. Saying he don't need him doesn't mean he doesn't think he's great. Saying he didn't need him is that he didn't need him to show to people to believe that he was not going to still be productive as a wide receiver. He's not codependent on him because he played well when Jordan Love was there. Jordan Love just had to get to know the offense at the time. So it's not like oh no, he didn't play with Jordan Love. My bad. I'm tripping. But I don't know why this is even a big deal for people. Like
for one game.
No, that was last year, and Davante wasn't on the team.
You're right.
No,
Yeah.
wait. There was a game 2 years ago at Kansas City. Jordan Love started.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Aaron Rodgers was injured. So, yes, he did play with Davante on the field.
I think he got COVID or something. Something happened.
For one game.
Davante's a great receiver. Like, come on now. Like, that's just the end of it for me.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line, guys.
Yeah, but like
JJ
Joe said,
I-
like it didn't even need. He didn't need to say or like Jay speak for themselves.
They excelled. They
I guess he just
excelled each
proved
other.
that he felt the need to say it as well.
They excelled each other, as JJ said. So let's move on, guys. Best available remaining free agents. I was taking a look at this list, and you know what? I would go with Frank Clark.
I was about to say him.
I was gonna go with Frank Clark because of his experience
Yep.
coming into a team where he's been in Kansas City. It just seems like during the season, Frank doesn't really do as much. But then when the playoffs comes, Frank Clark just turns it on to a level. And I think teams that are trying to pursue a championship, that position is a premium position that you need to take care of, which is edge rusher. And you can never have too many edge rushers.
If you're a contender,
it's actually great to have depth at that position. So honestly, man, if I'm a team that's looking to bulk up my D line, trying to make a run at a Super Bowl, if I'm a team like the Buffalo Bills, the Philadelphia Eagles, any teams like that are trying to get there, Cincinnati, any teams like that, I would take a 1-year deal on Frank Clark, and I think it would be a great value. So Frank Clark is my choice.
Yeah, mine was
if you're a contender, go ahead, Jay.
Frank Clark was my choice. Granted, he be going into year 9 right now, but I think he's still a force. The Chiefs get younger at pass rusher. That's kind of like, what happens, but it is what it is. I think that he's going to still get on with somebody. So I'll go with my next choice, and I'm going to say running back Kareem Hunt. Now, last season, he did rush for 468 yards and 3 touchdowns, but keep in mind, he split time with Nick Chubb. I think that he still has some years left. He spent the better part of his career splitting carries, so that kind of spares him a little bit. I know he's 28 years old, but he hasn't been like a full-time starter like his whole career, like a Zeke or anything, to where there's so much wear and tear and whatnot. He split carries, so he still got actually a lot more in the tank than we think. Granted, yes, his only 1,000-yard season was his rookie year in Kansas City, but outside of that, he split time.
Led the league in rushing, BT Dub.
Yeah, and so
But I think Jay,
go ahead.
I just want to say just one thing. I was trying to throw it to you is like he wants more carries. That was the problem.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If he wants more carries, you got to have a team that would see a need to have you on there. And given that's where his age works against him, like, would you go after him at 28, or would you try this new young boy Bijan Robinson coming out or something like that? It's going to work against them.
Right, and it's essentially, it's either this way or that way, right? But if they don't have a youngster, if they have someone who could be a stopgap, because, everybody else obviously is. I mean, like, me personally, I would take Kareem Hunt over Zeke. I would. Kareem Hunt.
Listen, okay, perfect. Ready for this?
You know that.
Where is Ezekiel Elliott now?
At home.
At home, at the house.
Also a free agent. Listen, same age. 27 turning 28. Zeke, 1,881 career carries. Kareem Hunt, less than 900. Kareem Hunt needs to go somewhere where the starter is going to get hurt.
I'm good.
Yeah, Zeke's creeping up on 2,000. Kareem Hunt's not even to 1,000.
I'm good. Kirk?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a more like a veteran approach. Someone's in he's up in his 30s, but I think he still can be really good rotational pass rusher is Melvin Ingram. He played for, I believe, the Dolphins last season and briefly with the Chiefs before that. He had 6 sacks. He only played in I think like 12 games. So I think he can still be like he's had a long productive career with the Chargers. He made some big time plays when he was at Kansas City, and I think you can make the argument that he was maybe outside of maybe Bradley Chubb, he's probably the best pass rusher on in Miami's D line last year. So he's 34. He's probably not going to be your full time number one pass rusher, but I think he can be able to be like a good mentor to young guys, teaching a little bit if you're, and then he can also uh, put some pressure on third downs and rotational. Therefore, you can keep him fresh and still be effective.
Fair enough. What about JJ? Who you got for this best available free agent right now?
Interesting enough, I'm gonna go Zeke. This for this number one is he is used to splitting carries. He doesn't really concern himself with wanting more. They got rid of him because they had to make a decision on his contract as well as a couple other things because it was up. But he can block. He still has his legs, and unlike Kareem Hunt, he wants to just be a place where he can be effective and win. So I think a team that if they're trying to get a boost when they see their running game not take that get that punch, or we haven't even got to training camp where injuries take place. I can say with great experience that picking up guys that you didn't think would pick up until they came till you needed them. So I think the best available one out right now is Zeke, because I do think that he has more in the tank, despite being the more seasoned and more used running back.
Well, I have to completely disagree with you when you say that Zeke still has the legs. He clearly does not. His play with the Dallas Cowboys has been deteriorating and going further and further and further downhill every single year. The only thing he can really do is block, as you said. So, you know what? No team is right now looking at things and saying, you know what? I really think Zeke can take us to the next level. The old Ezekiel Elliott.
Kareem Hunt, I looked and did the math. Kareem Hunt is 15 days younger.
I want JJ to respond.
When I say he still has his legs, I mean he still has a little bit in him to be able to do a split carry type role, which is the role he would get. When I'm saying that, I'm comparing that to Kareem Hunt, who really does want more carries. And teams, I think, if you look at who would be a better fit, is to take the guy that doesn't mind the carries he's getting. That's why I say he still has enough with the carries that he would get, make an impact in a little bit on a better team.
Okay, fair enough. So Zeke, JJ's going with Zeke. I'm going with Frank Clark. Jay is going with Kareem Hunt. Kirk, you had Melvin Ingram.
Melvin Ingram.
Wait, Dom, who did you pick?
Mine was Zeke. Or no, I'm sorry, Zeke. Kareem Hunt as well. 15 days and 986 carries younger. He just needs to go. So, I mean, either one of them you would think would be smart and try to go to a contender. The only reason Kareem Hunt's itching for more carries is because he's had so relatively few. And the last time he was, the feature back on a team, led the NFL in rushing as a rookie. Shout out University of Toledo. What are they? The Zips? No, that's Akron. Rockets. Toledo Rockets.
So
just a little ways down I-75.
If you were Kareem Hunt, then
where would I go?
Where would you go?
That is a darn good question.
He wants more carries.
I would almost say San Francisco because Christian McCaffrey's getting hurt again. Really, anywhere.
Well, what do you think about?
Just as well off, I would say.
I really want to say Buffalo.
But no, Dom, what do you think about Kareem to Dallas?
No. Buffalo doesn't want to get any kind of running back because they want Josh Allen to die on all those goal line carries. But go ahead, Jay.
Apparently,
I said, what do you think about Kareem to Dallas?
Yeah.
I don't know who
Yeah,
their second
100%.
running back is.
I mean, they got not
Some guy you've probably ever heard of.
but they got Pollard, but Pollard's coming off of an injury, and he hasn't
And
been
Pollard
signed to
is
his
only
knee
good
yet.
for 200. That would be a perfect because I mean, yeah, he'd still be splitting carries, but it's not like he's losing carries to Pollard.
This is gonna
Plus,
be
it's a proven
Pollard's
fact:
first
the
season.
less time Dak throws, the less number of times that Dak throws, the more Dallas wins. But
This is gonna be
Pollard's
the first
not going to
time
see more than
that
200 carries.
this is gonna be the first time that Pollard's getting like the majority of the volume. Like, there's no Zeke, there's
Yeah,
nobody
the RB1
really to
carries.
oppose him. So
Yeah,
I'm interested how that's gonna play out. So Kareem being a second string, I actually don't think it would be a bad move for the
it
Cowboys.
wouldn't. And you don't know how Pollard's going to be coming off because I think he tore his ACL. So
Yeah,
like,
a crazy injury. Yeah,
yeah, you know what I mean? And see, as a running back, you tear your ACL. I mean, not everybody's AD, right? Not everybody can tear ACL and then come back. Almost break the rushing record and win
Adrian
MVP.
Peterson's
Minnesota.
insane, bro.
Yeah, Adrian
I mean,
Peterson's
he's built different, though.
Minnesota because Dalvin Cook is getting cut. Dalvin Cook is getting cut or traded. So Minnesota's another one that seems to fit.
probably, but you know what? With Pollard, you don't know what type of back you're gonna get coming back. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea to sign Kareem Hunt, 1-year deal, see what happens. If Pollard goes down in like week 6, Kareem's got the load the rest of the way, probably. So I mean, it's not a bad
That's
idea.
a good idea. I like that.
Yeah, and chomping at the bit for those carries.
Okay, I think we're good. As far as with all the sports talk. So now we're gonna move into our non-sports topic, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I got something for y'all.
What is the most disrespectful thing that you can do on a date? I want to start with Joseph on this because I'm really interested to see what Joseph has to say about this. Joseph, start us off. What's the most disrespectful thing that has either happened to you personally on a date or just like in general? What do you think would be the most disrespectful thing?
Interesting. This question, and I actually asked this question at work to my coworker who I'm cool with. I was like, what's the most disrespectful? Then I thought about my own life. To be very honest, and this is probably going to surprise you guys, I don't really have too many disrespectful things because I was just being a little bit of a prostitute whore type situation. Excuse my language on this leg, but so my dates was really, I didn't care. The only thing I was focused on was the end result. So I would say if I had to think about it, the whole being on your phone, like, bro, real talk, you could have kept yourself at home. Like, I believe with the, when we get, give me a story. I'll never forget. And this is hilarious. Oh, God. I remember going to the movies with this guy and we were going to see the Avengers. I guess he thought I was on that zone because midway through the movie, I look and I see what he's doing and I'm just like, pay no mind and walk over. And I was like, you disrespectful mother. I said, that is Thanos right now. And you gonna sit here, get out of my face.
You kick him out the theater.
Snap you out of existence.
Like I sat there and afterwards he was so mad at me in the car. I didn't care. I was like, you thought this was gonna be that on Avengers? Like you really thought that was gonna happen? I was like,
guys for the streets.
Right. I was like, I guess you really don't know. Like, never mind. And so I wasn't mad. He paid for the trip. I don't care. You good. Do your thing. But that, like, I think that was my craziest moment.
Kirk, you can be next, bro. That was an awesome story by JJ.
My ex.
That dude really thought he was going to mess up the Marvel movie.
Like, he thought that was really about to go down? Wow. Avengers. The Infinity Wars Avengers.
You do not get between a man and his Avengers movie, man. Ever.
And I thought Infinity War was a better one.
Look up
Go ahead.
person.
The only one out of all these comic book movies I've seen in 100 years was Age of Ultron. It was pretty good.
Hey,
Kurt?
Kurt, what's the most disrespectful thing that you can ever think of if you were on a date?
Yeah, I think you should
In
gonna
case
be
you ever
have
go
me
on
be
one.
on time on the date, because a lot of people don't being like really late. Like they don't sometimes like they're just doing too casual with it. I'm just like sometimes you're waiting at a restaurant and it's like 10 minutes, like and it's like 5 o'clock. It's like 10 minutes. Like where are you? It's like I'm texting you, man. It's like bro, I got stuff to do and stuff. Like I'm taking my time out of the day just to be with you. It's like, and you don't even like give like a response back. Like that's what makes it worse. It's like come on, man. And I'm a very impatient person, and nothing more pisses me off than like people being late to like an event or something like our meetup. Like be on time, or at least be set yourself up to be on time. And then like it's fine if it's like if you have like important stuff to do like work or school or like something comes up with family and stuff. Like I understand that, but like if you're like casually just like not taking me seriously, then why are you taking on me there in the first place? It's like it's a waste of my time. Like life's too short to be wasting time with you. So
Big facts. Big facts.
All right, Detroit Dom. I want to hear what the date night Dom has to say about this. What's the worst disrespect you've seen on a date, or most disrespectful thing someone could do on a date?
Man, there's so many. Like Kirk's was good, not being on time. I've never actually witnessed this, but friends of mine have told me, like no BS, because I wouldn't stand for it. But some broads like to bring a friend to the date and then want you to pay for the friend to eat and sit there with you. Like, did you really bring a third wheel to our first date? Like, if you want to bring your friend, like, after we've been dating, like, hey, my friend's going to come and I'm not going to make you pay for her. Okay, cool. But no, I've read about this stuff on Reddit. Like, what do they call it? Like, AITA? Am I the a-hole? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
So any woman that does that, brings her friend along on a date and tries to make you pay for them, yes. YITA. YATA. You are the a-hole.
It's funny you mentioned that, and I know James.
That's it.
It's funny you mentioned the friend thing because I remember going to dinner with one of my friends, and he had the dude that he was on a date with, and he had his two friends. So we all was there, and the dude was just flat out disrespectful the entire time, and I felt bad because I wasn't going to say I was the cause of it, but what he was doing
I mean,
was...
my thing is, I'm all about the love connection. Like, if you want to bring your friend, bet. I'll bring my friend, and maybe something can happen.
Problem was, what he was doing was he was disrespecting my friend by trying to hit on me the entire time. And my friend at the time, we were going to outskirts. Yes, like the dude was trying to like, he would say certain things, and I would just be sitting thinking like, oh my God, you're going to make my friend feel like I'm trying to take you from him. And I don't want you. Like, no. And I just thought that was so disrespectful. Like afterwards, I pulled him outside. I was like, bro, I get that you're attracted to me because I kind of felt that. I was like, but you don't need to do that for somebody. You could have just told them straight up that you wanted to talk to me instead. That would have been much better than what you did in the date. Because at the end of the day, I felt like so uncomfortable because you're sitting here disrespecting him, talking about y'all bad experience that y'all had maybe 6-7 years ago. At the same time, looking at me talking about how sexy I am. And I'm thinking like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? Excuse my language, but that friend stuff turned into another thing on that way.
That's wild, man.
The worst part about that is like they try to victimize you. Is like, oh, you're not good enough to pay for my friend's dinner. It's like, are you broke and everything? I'm just like, bro, I just met you. Like, I don't owe you anything, let alone your friend. Like,
I've got one along the lines of
yes, I am too good to pay. Yes,
yeah,
I'm either too good or not good enough to pay for your friend.
Go ahead,
whichever one you feel better about, honey.
I want to hear Jamon's answer.
Like
I want to hear Jamon's answer because this was This is actually his idea to have this topic, so I want to see what's going on in this guy's head.
So, okay, like I take a woman out for a nice dinner, nice steak, some conversation, some drinks. That's cool, you know. But your kids, I don't know what it is. First of all, I don't even know them. They might be bad as hell. They might be bad as hell. When they come for the tab, I got the tab. Okay, cool. Then you go and you order food for your kids and expect me to get it. And then, just like y'all said, want to call me broke when I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pay for your kids. Like, I don't even know them. I haven't even met them. Like, I took you out to dinner. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and pay for your kids. Listen, we go out to eat. We cool. We have a great time. I'm not responsible for your crunch goblin, right?
Yo,
Your kids.
he would pull up and see
That's
a
a
bill.
setup. I'm broke,
Hey,
man.
bro,
They
listen.
need your money.
Listen, bro, we gotta bring this back in.
No.
I ain't gonna lie though. I ain't gonna lie
Over
though.
there, if you left her there.
I ain't gonna lie though. That's valid. That's actually the one I was gonna. That's actually the one I was gonna pick too. Like, bro, if I
Your
show up,
kids.
if we have a date, and this girl said, "Well, you know, can you get a to-go plate for my like 3-year-old son?" I'm not even gonna say something, bro. I'm not even gonna say no. I'm just gonna get up and walk out, and I'm gonna leave you with the check. I'm gone. You will never see me again.
Leave you with a
I'm blocking all your social media. I'm blocking you on
burners, and I have a
Tinder.
fast car.
I'm blocking you on your phone number, and I'm out. And you will never see me again. Avatar: The Last Airbender. When the world needed him the most, he vanished. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen.
You just want to scream like, "Call they daddy." Where they daddy at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where they daddy at? Dude,
Like,
I
no,
know,
I'm
like,
not
I
getting
understand
any of your baby kids any food.
Like, no, your test
And
tube
not your
babies,
sugar daddy.
they better get that. They better get a 4 for 4 from Wendy's. Because
Jamal Jay
I'm
was
not
basically
gonna do
saying,
this.
he said
I'm not
basically
doing this.
he said he ain't dating Dashiki at all.
No, I'm not
Come on,
Ash
Fat
Shirley
Kyle.
from Don't Be a Menace. No, nuh-uh. Your test
Travel?
tube babies better get that 4 for 4 and call it a night.
You better get a less than a 4 for 4. You better get like a
Biggie bag.
You better
I'll
pay-
come up
pick-
with a
you
dollar and
better
throw it
pick
at you when I
three-
kick you out my
three
car.
things off the dollar menu.
Yeah.
You pick 3 things off the dollar menu. That's it.
Dollar menu. Yes. Dollar menu. That's what's up.
You can get McChicken and a small fry. And you
Clank.
better be happy.
Oh, airball James Tatum.
Jason Tatum. Don't ever disrespect.
Oh,
Don't ever
Most
disrespect
guy.
inconsistent
me
player
by
in the playoffs.
Same guy.
comparing me to
Jason
this guy.
Tatum.
So that's all that we have time for, guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. Be sure to tune in next Friday. We're gonna have some more heat for you. Heat check, gauntlet check. We out. I appreciate everyone that tuned into the comments. We'll see y'all
see
later.
y'all. All right.